What's up? I got asked an interesting question. Who had a better career on the impact on TV, Anthony Anderson or Malcolm Jamal Warner? That's a real good question. Um, Anthony Anderson, obviously with Blackish, been wildly successful, and he's also been able to parlay that into film. And he's been able to host shows. He definitely had an interesting vehicle. There are parallels with them besides being black and starting off really young. Malcolm Jamal Warner grew up before everybody's eyes on the Cosby Show as Theo. And as a funny story, I forgot the name of the show because it didn't last that long, but it was on BT. There was a plot where Tracy Ellis Ross was his wife on the show. It didn't work. Ironically, she went to Anthony Anderson, and then Blackish was a huge hit on ABC. So these things aren't by accident. There is a similarity, and also because of their built and the kind of the physique that I'm sure is used in Hollywood to compartmentalize and to also put people in certain projects and things. Quite sure of it. So I'm sure they ran by stuff that one or the other didn't do. And it's hard to understand that with Malcolm Jamal Warner's presence that he wasn't bigger. Now he dabbles in music and poetry, and he's done TV shows and plots. His film career never took off. Kind of like more like a TV movie of the week kind of cat. Now he did have obviously Malcolm and Eddie was huge. The syndication, that was his show with Eddie Griffin, but there was tension and friction. And he's been on successful shows, but he ain't never that Cosby Show magic didn't translate to beyond aside from that. Whereas Anthony Anderson has parlayed that into basically almost like a film career, and also with Hustle and Flow and other things and different things he's done. He's almost been like a mini me version of Steve Harvey with the TV thing. He's like the guy that would probably be next in line after that Sinbad, Bill Cosby, Steve Harvey thing to be that next guy in line to get that medium where he does enough comedy, enough a little bit of this, enough of that, where it kind of works in his favor. So I gotta ask who had the better career of the two. I gotta say Anthony Anderson. I think Malcolm has had what I call the benefit of the name and what he was able to do. And I think that he had a good leap, but I don't think that he reached the kind of heights that Anthony Anderson was able to do uh, overall. Because Anthony Anderson, is still able to, he's had different roles and things kind of worked out. That's not to say that Malcolm hasn't been successful. Malcolm's had a good run, but when you had a jump start with a show like The Cosby Show, you would assume. But then again, very few people came from The Cosby Show. Obviously, Bill Cosby is iconic and one of the greatest comedians entertainers ever. We're just gonna stick to the aspect of his keep the person out of it because let's just stick to the facts. He is one of the goats. But Felice Rashad has still been thriving really well. But none of the Cosby kids per se really hit that next level. And Malcolm kind of had a chance, but it kind of went, it didn't quite land like it was supposed to. Because some people just think he just been trained the same role. You could say the same about Anthony Anderson, but Anthony Anderson just seems to like kind of connect. My baby daddy, his movies, his roles. He did do that movie with Eddie Griffin and Michael Imperioli with John Amos in it too. So he's had roles, and again, he showed some kind of versatility. Malibu's Most Wanted. Some things, it's work. So anyway, let me know who you think out of Anthony Anderson and Malcolm Jamal Warner. Who you think's had a better career? Good question. I got to ask. Please like, subscribe, welcome thoughts, comments, and I do respond. Thank you. Wash your hands. Keep your mind clear. Watch out for another. Share it if you like. Stay safe, stay blessed, stay woke, stay free. I'm my one time. Peace.